Actually lost everything in Katrina, came here, and 10 years later lost everything again.
That is the story behind the tens of thousands of people who are affected by the historic flooding in Louisiana. In fact, more than 80,000 people have filed for FEMA assistance.
Unfortunately, the rain isn't over yet. Parts of the Gulf Coast could see up to 2 inches of rain before the weekend is over. Well, thank you so much for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa. The American Red Cross and the National Guard are helping those affected by the flooding disaster. A spokesperson with the American Red Cross says the organization will give out 1.5 million meals and snacks by the time the disaster is over. The Red Cross is housing residents in shelters across the state.
And cleanup efforts, they are getting underway, but many places are still dealing with severe flooding.
Our Mike Seidel's in southern Louisiana in the town of Youngsville, where he's taking a look at the disaster right there.
This is the Highland Ridge Estates in Youngsville, Louisiana. We're about a half an hour south of Lafayette, and they got the double whammy. Friday morning, 17 inches of rain in 3 hours, a flash flood, water coming in from both sides, from all directions. And then over the weekend, the Vermilion River that runs through Lafayette backed up into these areas. Once the water receded on Sunday evening, homeowners came back in, and they've had 3 days now to clean up and get the drywall and remediate their houses. We've got mountains of debris all over the area. This is just one of many areas hard hit by the flooding in Louisiana. Floodwaters are receding in most of southeastern Louisiana, but the scale of this natural disaster is just starting to sink in.
Referring to this as the biggest disaster response that we've had since Superstorm Sandy.
To see this kind of devastation this far inland, because it was a rain event, not a hurricane, it's unreal. I've been here for 50 years and I've never seen the water high like it is here.
The numbers are staggering. More than 30,000 people rescued, 40,000 homes damaged, and 2 feet of rain within 24 hours.
Water started coming in, and it was horrible. It was horrible to see that amount of water come through.
Now supplies are arriving by the truckload. Thousands of people are lined up at this distribution center in Abbeville to receive life essentials.
They got the formula right there.
These boxes right here that contain everything you need for 5 days for survival. You've got cleaning items, you've got food items, you've got the basic soaps and the toiletries.
Some people are very emotional. Some ladies broke out into tears when they said that they saw what we were trying to do. Just the fact that somebody's caring enough to give.
That thought echoed by those who now start the task of repairing their homes and lives.
People that are telling me that we just feel so helpless, we wish you could help you. Just pray for us and don't forget about us.
It's hard to imagine going through a disaster like this, losing everything to the floodwaters. But how about this couple? Their house on sale, they were supposed to close this week. Now that's not going to happen. As the debris pickup and the trash pickup kicks in today and tomorrow, 98% of the residents here do not have flood insurance. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel. Back to you.
Wow, such a sad situation, ongoing situation as well. And it's tough to sort of gauge where we are if we don't know what it looked like before. So we actually have a chance and an opportunity to see what it looked like before the flooding and after. So here's a picture of Abbeville there in Louisiana. Before the flooding, there you have the river running through. That's that sort of brown area. But then look what happens after all the rain. I mean, homes completely inundated.
You definitely can't get that scope when you're looking from ground level. I mean, you can see the vertical, right? You have how high the water gets into homes, but then you see just how far out and how much land is taken up by water. And Denham Springs, we've been reporting from there since the beginning, and this is just a crazy before and after, because before, nice and green, nice and dry. Every spot on that picture is now underwater.
It is.
When we do the before and after.
One of the hardest hit spots was Denham Springs there. I'm reading a story about a couple there in Livingston Parish, which is where Denham Spring is. And they just closed on their home. That was on Thursday. Friday, the rain came down. Home flooded out, 3 feet of water in their home. And as Mike was mentioning there in his story, 98% of the folks in these areas no flood insurance. That couple doesn't have flood insurance either. So really, really tough situation.
And part of the problem is that you have so many people who have never flooded before. You can see in Port Vincent, similar story. There you have the waterways, what it looked like before, and then after nearly 2 feet of rain, and every spot there submerged. So we don't want to hear that there's more rain in the forecast. That's for sure, Alex.
We don't, and unfortunately we do, and we're seeing that right now. Moving on into parts of Louisiana. I mean, some of these rivers still running high, major flood stage in some cases out there for you. You can see here in the southern part of the state, the purple, that corresponds to major flood stage, then the red, moderate, and then we go down from there from minor to action. So rivers still running on the high side and pretty swollen. We don't need any more additional rain, but we've got quite a bit of moisture hanging around here. Water vapor imagery showing you the milky colors, the white showing up. That's where moisture is in place. Then you get where you see those purple start to show up out there. That's where we actually have some of the thunderstorms that are flared up as well. So let's get in a little bit closer here. You can see showers and storms are